Und, liebe Freunde, wieder herzlich willkommen zurück. Oh Mann, das war ja mal ein richtiger Fail in der Begrüßung, aber den lasse ich einfach mal drin. Ich schneide den nicht raus, ist mir voll egal. Willkommen zurück zu Let's Play The Stanley Parable. Halt doch einfach mal die Klappe, wenn ich rede. Mann, Mann, Mann. Unfassbar, nur am Plappern, der Mann. Diesmal machen wir Folgendes.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Wir haben ja einen netten Zettel hier.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Das machen wir doch schon. Das machen wir doch schon. Erzähl mir nicht immer das Gleiche.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, ever. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo was 2845, it would be another story entirely. But no, this is what he was going to do instead.
Ja, richtig. Ich weiß ja, was passiert, wenn man das richtig eingibt, aber passiert da was, wenn man auch die ganze Zeit was Falsches eingibt? Das ist ja die Frage.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
8.
Yes, da habe ich den 8-Button.
2845.
Aus der Demo, der 8-Button, habt ihr es gehört? Ich habe das Achievement bekommen, ich bin ein Held.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself, and Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Gut, alles klar. Falsch kann man es nicht eingeben. Alles klar, dann weiß ich Bescheid. Dann nehmen wir hier wieder runter und nehmen wieder die Ladezeit mit. Vielen Dank dafür, Spiel. Und ich kann nochmal auf meine Liste gucken. So, also, falsch können wir gar nicht eingeben. Das führt automatisch wieder hierhin, quasi zu richtig. Das ist ja schon mal gut zu wissen. Genauso wie hier, korrekt und falsch. Das geht. Escape ist der Tod hier. Zack, genau. Ja, im Endeffekt haben wir hier nicht mehr so viele Möglichkeiten. Nur noch eine, um genau zu sein.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Ja, das habe ich getan. Hier bleibt noch ein Knopf.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Ja, ich hab die Kraft, das rauszufinden, weil ich genau weiß, was ich tun muss. Und ich würde mir wünschen, ich könnte das hier ein bisschen skippen.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Ja, der bedeutet hier wirklich nichts, ne? Also ist ja unfassbar.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Ja, das ist, wie ich festgestellt habe, genau der gleiche Weg wie hier beim andermal.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Jo. Moment, hier muss ich auch noch tot hinschreiben. So. Ich bin nicht blind, ich kann hier langlaufen. Danke.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Boja, ja, wir drücken jetzt auf On. Das ist nämlich die einzige Möglichkeit, die noch übrig bleibt. Und nicht die einzige, aber neben Raum hier. Und ich bin gespannt, was passiert.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Doch.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. This is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button. or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless, to see you made humble. This is not a challenge, it's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Bin ich tot? Darf ich auch wieder reden? Ja. Unfassbar. Gut, warte mal. Tot. So, es führt alles zum Tod.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Da muss ich erstmal schauen. Warte mal. Ja, also, den Weg sind wir schon gegangen. Also ich glaube, die anderen beiden Wege sind wir schon gegangen in den anderen Folgen.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Also wenn ich mich nicht irre...
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really I'm not. I realize that investing in your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Stimmt, da war ja noch was.
Sweetie, sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Alter. Oh, habe ich mich gerade verjagt mit der Wand. Das ist ja mal ein richtiger Blödmann. Erstmal quatscht er die ganze Zeit, sodass ich überhaupt nicht reden kann. Er macht ja fast alleine Let's Plays. Und jetzt mobbt er mich noch, dass ich keine Frau hätte und niemand mich lieben würde. Oh, Baby.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Drücke G auf deine... Was? Nein, ich will nicht. Muss ich? Kann ich auch abwehren? Also wenn ich abnehme, dann ist hier irgendwas komisch. So. Erstmal hier so. Wahrscheinlich muss ich G drücken.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Tja, ich könnte P drücken, aber ich kann auch was Falsches drücken. Nee, das bringt gar nichts.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Was geht hier nur ab, ey? Ich will aber nicht X drücken, Mann.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
So um fernzusehen, ja, das ist doch super.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly. So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions, and down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Tja, lustig. Ja, ich kann es nicht tun, aber dann passiert ja nichts mehr. Ich kann jetzt hier 2 Stunden rumsitzen und nichts machen, aber ich muss es tun. Er hat recht, er hat einfach recht.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I...
Hallo? Bin ich wieder gestorben? Einfach so? Ich bin einfach gestorben. Ich bin einfach gestorben. Das gibt's doch nicht. Einfach so gestorben. Unfassbar. Unfassbar. Aber, Freunde, es ist wieder Zeit, den Part zu beenden und nicht nur den Part. Ich drücke mal hier. Das Spiel ist pausiert. Ich glaube, das war's von der Stanley Parable. Ich habe mir ja die Liste gemacht und wir haben meines Wissens, glaube ich, wirklich alles gesehen. Und darum geht's ja. Man kann das Spiel ja nicht durchspielen. Es geht ja nur darum, dass man möglichst alles sieht in diesem Spiel. Und ich glaube, wir haben alles gesehen. Ich möchte eigentlich nicht, also ich habe eventuell noch 2 Möglichkeiten, aber ich will nicht den ganzen Ablauf nochmal durchrennen und all das und extra eine neue Folge dafür anfangen. Und auch in dieser Folge würde ich das ungern machen. Deswegen würde ich sagen, das war's jetzt mit The Stanley Parable. Ja, acta est fabula applaudite. Applaus, Applaus, ne? Das Spiel ist vorbei. Das Spiel ist aus. War ein interessantes Spiel, auf jeden Fall. War mal was anderes. Für Let's Plays vielleicht, ja, ich weiß nicht genau, nicht ganz so optimal, weil der Kommentator, also der Erzähler, der erzählt ja unglaublich viel, ne? Und eigentlich soll ich ja derjenige sein, der hier erzählt. Das ist ja das Problem an der Geschichte. Und ja, das war am Ende ein bisschen anstrengend, würde ich fast behaupten. Ja, das war schon ein bisschen anstrengend, war schon ein bisschen genervt fast. Aber nichtsdestotrotz ein sehr, sehr lustiges Spiel. Kann man eigentlich nur empfehlen. Man sollte warten, bis es günstiger ist, also im Angebot, aber das ist bei Steam momentan ja recht häufig so, ne? Da kann man ja eigentlich immer ein Schnäppchen machen, weil es ist halt kein Vollpreistitel, ist ja klar. Also so viel kostet es ja auch nicht, aber man kann es halt in einer Stunde oder so halt durchziehen, so wie ich das jetzt gemacht habe, ungefähr. Und dann hat man alles gesehen im Spiel. Aber sehr gut gemacht, sehr lustig. Ich fand auch die Idee mit dem Museum ganz, ganz toll. Ich weiß nicht, das war glaube ich in der letzten Folge. Und ich würde einfach sagen, wir sehen uns beim nächsten Let's Play. Ich hoffe, ihr schaltet dann wieder ein. Ich bin mal gespannt, was es dann gibt. Ich weiß noch nicht ganz so genau, muss noch schauen, muss ein bisschen was überlegen. Und ja, dann wünsche ich euch noch einen wunderschönen Tag. Macht's gut und ciao, ciao.